Excellent. So, okay, we have two more presentations. Let me just make sure everyone is here. Asja Trbovic. Okay, excellent. Let me say a few words about Asja Trbovic. She's a participant, as well as an art historian and a cultural manager. She's the co-founder of the Association for Culture and Art in Bosnia-Herzegovina. And her topic is a fascinating one. I'm very curious to see what lies beneath it. What is so appealing in arts and culture? ? Please join me in a very warm welcome for Ms. Asja Trbovic. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the ICD for this wonderful opportunity. Well, the title of my presentation, What Makes Arts and Culture So Appealing, actually it refers to, we all know what is the intrinsic values and qualities of arts and culture, and this quality of life element that gives us to our daily life, but culture and arts are during the late 20th century started to be recognized as a serious driver for local development and economic growth. So culture and arts have this huge potential also in this kind of in this way of improving our lives and improving our future. As report named our creative diversity done in 1995 by the UN World Commission on Culture and Development constitutes a crucial moment in evolution of the theory of development, of evoking an importance of culture and relating culture with development. Open up the space for expansion of the new so-called cultural economy, and 10 years later, with UNESCO's Convention of Protection and Promotion of the Diversity of Cultural Expressions, the same course of thinking has been linked. So exploitation of culture and artistic resources of the place has started to be seen as a way of local regeneration and development, which will help to increase economic growth of the city or country. And this important role given to culture in producing wealth and better future lies in its creative and fertilizing potential, in its communication quality, etc. And what is very interesting, as UNDP Creative Economy Report 2010 explains, creative industries have shown more resilience to the impact of the global economic crisis than traditional manufacturing industries, with an average annual growth of 14%. And moreover, we should stress that we live in cognitive era with the daily exposures to information, challenge us to process them, to be more and more creative in solving problems. And as we know, also European Commission strategy for the upcoming decade aims to the smart growth. So European Commission wants the EU to become a smart, sustainable and inclusive economy. So with this this stress of huge role in economic development, culture is, what I want to say is many of culture mega events, festivals, urban competition, image building, city branding, place branding started to emerge. And therefore we have these mega events like European Capital of Culture project, satellite museums from Guggenheim Bilbao to Guggenheim Dubai, and this is everything is seen as a community investment in community development, reinforcing local identity, and etc. but sometimes it's not. It is not. It started to be questionable, this internal city development, this genius of the city, values and satisfaction of the residents, improving the lifestyle of the local community. So what I want to stress that money and originality of design are not enough. We need more, many ingredients for these kind of events to work, and the active support of local community is the key element. This image building, because mainly I will give an overview of the festival's growth in the recent decades and in relation to European project. And also with some links with the country that I come from Serbia, and the capital, Belgrade. This image building started, it's actually just a marketing tool, and it started to be accepted as an unavoidable tool to place branding and city branding. But what does it mean? It means, what is the purpose of image building? It is the purpose to build a strong relationship between hosts and guests. It's all about bonding. It's all about identity, values, and communication. And for example, museums are the best examples of this image building from the middle of 18th century, and they are also because they communicate culture, promote culture, etc. They are actually, from the marketing point of view, value brands. And they are, when it comes to intercultural relations, they are actually real diplomatic actors, because they are building culture bridges across borders through shared heritage. And shared means interaction, in order to eliminate differences, or maybe to say it better, to find a joint narrative between nations and societies. We are talking here about cultural diplomacy, and they stand up as a very good actors in this topic. But initially, cultural diplomacy was practiced just as a means to export culture from one country to another, but nowadays it started to be changed in its definitions and strategies, fostering interaction in approaches and initiatives. For example, when we speak about Serbia, this nation branding, image branding is a main topic, because the national priority number one for Serbia is European integration. I heard this morning that the candidacy is postponed to the March 2012. We will see. We have to work more on that, obviously. Image building is actually, the culture has a major role in this image building, especially because Serbia wants to also aims to the candidacy for the European Capital of Culture 2020. But what can I say? Paradoxically, in Serbia, in the capital, in Belgrade, we have two major museums closed: National Museum and Museum of Contemporary Art. So Serbia has a lot of problems to fix and to act on several aspects. It has to promote its own culture to help others to understand it, while also regaining trust among its own citizens, to fight stereotypes and prejudices, to deal with the recent war history and this image that we still bear, to work on the dialogue with the region, with our neighbors. And in the meantime, we have to stay on track with contemporary worldwide causes while being more and more economically pressured. So it's quite a challenge. Therefore, in this city marketing trends, festivals have a major role. We are facing a large festival growth in general, worldwide, but also I can say in Belgrade as well. But there has been much uncertainty about contribution for many of the emerged events. Acknowledged as an entrepreneurial form and catalyst for change, especially in terms of urban regeneration and tourism, many city authorities have quite invested in festivals. And beyond the local benefits, through festivals, cities also differentiate themselves in the global market. But what is the meaning of the festival in social, political, and cultural terms? If we Google the word festival, we will mostly find that this is an event staged by the local community, which centers on and celebrates some unique aspect of that community. So we are told that the festival is something exceptional, something that represents the relationship between people, between local group and the place. It is then rooted in society, being a part of the people's mind, people's identity and shared values. They are actually value brands, same as museums that I mentioned. Of course, we have other kinds of festivals, like art festivals, that can emerge in response to artistic needs lacking within the place. But nevertheless, they serve to celebrate, to strengthen, to improve. It's a great opportunity for exchanging ideas, to build the socio-cultural pride, sense of belonging, and the quality of life element. So, regarding European project, festivals represent an important vehicle for activating the idea of European citizenship. Cultural interactions in the process of European integration is crucial because Europe is unity of many cultures, but still we are discussing whether Europe needs its own citizens, and if we are talking about that, then we have to stress that citizenship refers to culture, and as a unity of cultures, Europe is the main strength, and I truly believe in it, the main strength and resource of Europe, and this project is actually in its cultural diversity. Therefore, engagement in finding the binding element through interactions under the umbrella of European values is an imperative for the success of European projects, and festivals represent an important vehicle in this respect, and we should not also when we talk about festivals and this sense of belonging, building a sense of belonging, etc., we shouldn't overlook a sense of feeling secure in the public space, which is also a very important aspect of festivals. Therefore, when we speak about European Capital of Culture project, I would like just to read some statements of a Solve for Europe strategy group members on the future of the European capitals of culture. They say that each European capital of culture is a contribution of the cities and regions to the development of Europe. It is a symbol of diversity and wealth of European culture, and each European capital of culture demonstrates what it is capable of and what it means for Europe. It has to relate specifically to the special cultural potential of the respective city and its opportunities for development. It has to rely on the achievements and contribution of its citizens. The preparation of European Capital of Culture program is therefore a conjoint achievement of the citizens and the people responsible for the city. And one more, I think it's very important also, they say that impressive and glamorous cultural projects should not be the main focus of the European Capital of Culture. Why? I'm stressing this sentence also because many argue this role of mega events and festivals nowadays because there are a lot of many examples of city authorities who tend to disregard the social value of festivals, and they just construe them simply as vehicles of economic regeneration or quick fix solutions of city image problems. And if it's not inspired and involved with this local identity and this like mind of the city, in other words, with the people and this inner culture, that opens up the possibility of the birth of the same cities, this kind of reproduction of sameness, which is stressed after the first, after the Guggenheim Bilbao was established, and etc. And with some European Capital of Culture programs. So what I want to say now, to give us some overview on the cultural scene in Belgrade and what Belgrade wants to do with this Belgrade 2020 strategy, and what has to be done before that, and what about these festival growth, whether we are doing it right or not. Well, we don't have time for for all the examples. I will give just a good one about Mix Festival in Belgrade. It's an example of a good and smart festival recently established and still developing, but already showing very good results due to smart approaches. The group of people wanting to just make invisible Serbian design scene more visible to local community, media and industry, launched